Why things gotta be so complicated? In May of 2019, I did the most craziest thing ever. I stepped outside of my comfort zone. I didn't just travel out of state to Florida or something. I traveled out of the country, 4,058 miles to be exact. Experiencing life in another country was interesting. I tried new things, laughed until I cried, and most importantly, I made memories that will last a lifetime. Since I couldn't take my subscribers with me to Scotland, I thought I'd bring Scotland to you. That's why I'm here to share my experience with you all and answer questions that you may have about my trip to the UK. Hey everybody, welcome back to Complicated TV, and of course you know this your girl Kate here. So if you've been keeping up with me on my Facebook page, you know that I went to Scotland. So today I will be answering some of the questions that you all decide to ask me about my trip to Scotland. And I'm very excited to share with you all some of the moments that I experienced over there in the United Kingdom. And I'm going to tell you all some funny stories and all that kind of stuff. So let's get to it. Question number 1 says, how was the food and did you meet any nice people? The food was very interesting. Some food was really bland and some food was really good. I will say that it's not greasy like how it is over here. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give it about a 7. It wasn't bad. There weren't any foods I was just like, ew, this is horrible. I'm never trying this again in my life. But I will say that, it was something to eat while I was there. But I mean, it wasn't bad. It was satisfying, I guess. And did I meet any nice people? Yeah, I did meet a couple of nice people. So with my study abroad program, we were required to interview at least 3 Scottish people while we were on the trip. And so through that assignment, I got to meet some interesting people. And even, outside of that assignment, I still ended up meeting some nice Scottish people. There were a few people that were rude to me. But I mean, overall, the people there was pretty nice. Question number 2. What was your favorite food on the trip? Ooh, okay. In Scotland, they have fish and chips, which is basically like fish and french fries, but they call their french fries chips. But I would say that was my favorite. I love to eat that all the time. That's pretty much all I ate while I was there. Also, we went to this place called the Willow Tea Room, something like that. So basically they had us little treats and stuff with tea and coffee. And so I had some biscuits. Oh wee. Over there they call cookies biscuits. But since I'm in the USA and we know what biscuits are, I'm calling them biscuits. But they were called something else over there. And they also had some really, 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 really good croissants that I enjoyed a lot. So yeah, I'd say fish and chips was definitely up there as one of my favorites. The little biscuits, whatever they call them over there in Scotland. And the croissants, those are really good. So yeah, those are some of my favorite foods. Did they have manners over there? Did they hold the doors and stuff? So to answer that question, Scottish people are generally known for, being the friendliest people in the world. I will say there were some people who showed manners and showed respect. There were some people who did not. So, yeah, but for the most part, they were really nice. They were helpful. When we first got to the airport there, I was really amazed at how nice they were. So as soon as we got there, we had to do something with our passport to confirm our identity, of course. And so I was having trouble trying to do something with my passport, and so one of the guys came over and helped me. And so afterwards I told him, I was like, thank you. And so after, he didn't say you're welcome, he said always. I was like, always? What? Always, like the past? But yes, so when you say thank you, usually you're gonna get a reply that says, cheers or always or something like that. Those people, at the airport and other people there, they showed manners and they were, really nice. However, there was one lady there, and we were walking across the street. We're trying to cross the street. She bumped me really, really hard. She almost like knocked me down. The lady just kept going. I guess she was in a hurry to get to work or whatever she needed to be. And so she bumped this shoulder right here. It was like, boom. I was like, excuse you. She didn't even look back or anything. It's like I was invisible to her. So, since I was on a school trip, I was in a foreign country, I wasn't gonna be like, hey girl, you got a problem? Nah, I wasn't trying to do none of that. I was just like, well, it is what it is. Next question. After visiting Scotland, do you plan to travel more? If so, where to? Yes, I do plan to travel more. I believe that traveling to another country definitely gives you like a new perspective. After I traveled there, I'm trying to go everywhere now. I want to go to Paris. I want to go to London. I want to go to Mars if, that's possible. I do plan on doing study abroad next year. I either want to go to Spain or London. Next question says, was it your first time flying, and how was your experience? No, this wasn't my first time flying. This is actually my third or fourth time flying. So the experience for me was fine. Like, I wasn't really anxious or anything because I had flown on a plane before, but I kind of surprised myself because the flight was 8 hours. And so unlike California and Washington DC, it doesn't take as long because we're right there. It's right there in the US, but you're flying all the way across the world. But the first flight going to Scotland was pretty decent. I got some sleep. I ate. It was fine. But the second flight coming back home to America, I was really anxious. The plane was shaking a little bit, turbulence. And I was really uncomfortable because I was at the middle seat. But overall, the experience was good for me. Just that one little part, when we were flying back home to America. It just, the plane ride was very uncomfortable for me. And, I was kind of a bit anxious. But, I'm here now. So I made it. I thought I wasn't going to never get back to America. It seemed like the flight was longer than 8 hours. But yeah, that's my question. That's my answer to that. The next question says, how did the natives act towards you? So as I told y'all before about the lady who, bumped me and almost knocked me down, she was just, one of the few people that treated me a bit wrong. But, that's neither here nor there because all the other Scottish people, they were fine. But I will say that they could tell that I was not from there. And, I'm from the deep South. And so even though I wasn't, communicating with them, I was talking to other people on my trip. And so we were outside, just talking. And I'm talking how I am now. And so they kind of looked at me like, oh, like, she's definitely not from here. So me and one of my classmates, we were talking, and we was like kind of joking like, oh girl, I wonder if they got some sweet tea. I wonder if they got some cornbread. Girl, I don't have none of that. But just from what we were talking about and our accents, they could tell that we weren't from there. The next question says, is it a lot different than the US? Okay, so actually Scotland is actually kind of similar to the US. Despite all the castles and all the beautiful landscapes and all that stuff and the history of the kings and queens over there, if you take that away, really, like, it's kind of the same. So they have some of the same things we have. They have a Burger King. They have an H&M. They have McDonald's. They don't have a Chick-fil-A. I wish they did. Or at least the part that we were staying at didn't have a Chick-fil-A. But they had some of the same stuff that we had, and they played some of the same music that we played. I went to a bar and I heard them play Usher, and I was like, now what y'all know about this? What do y'all know about this? They even play Salt and Pepper, and I was like they are not that different from us. I even saw a nail salon that was called American Nails. I thought that was pretty funny. But really, it's not that much different at all. If you go inside their mall or their shop, they have pretty much the same things that we have, minus the kilts. If you don't know what a kilt is, I'll put that up there. But they're basically like the plaid skirts that the Scottish natives wear. So everyone, it looks like I'm going to have to bring this video to a close. However, I do want you all to stay tuned for part 2 to my trip to the UK. And I appreciate you all for sending in your questions. I got a lot of questions, so that's why I'm breaking it up like this. So it may be a part 1, 2, and 3. Who knows? So thank you all so much for sending in your questions. And I look forward to seeing y'all on the next video of part 2 of my trip to the UK. So with that being said, everyone, I will see you all next time on Complicated TV. And whatever you do, make sure that you travel out the country at least once in your life, because it's awesome.